So it is that time again, and we are back with our Championship weekly score predictions. Coming up this week, we got some really interesting matches, which I'm excited to see which way you guys are going for. We got some big games at the top and bottom of the Championship. As always, they will all be in the description down below, so that you guys can go ahead and make your score predictions. And if you do get any of them right, your comment will be included at the start of the next video. And before we do get into anything, I want to give a shout out to our sponsors over at OneFootball. As always, their link will be in the top line of the description down below. Over on the OneFootball app, you can go ahead and track the games and get live updates to your phone as the goals do go in across the Championship this weekend. And like I said, we have a lot of games which could influence how the Championship is shaping up come the end of the year. As we all know, the Championship table is so tight at the moment, like there's literally nothing in it. So over on there, you can go ahead and follow your team and keep up to date with everything that is going on. So like I said, link in the description down below. But without any further ado, let's hop into this. So starting out with tonight's game, which sees Middlesbrough going up against Stoke, a massive game at the bottom of the Championship. Only 3 points separates these two sides at the moment. If Stoke do win, they will go out of the relegation zone, and Middlesbrough will go below them on goal difference. Middlesbrough, their home record hasn't been too bad as of late. They are unbeaten in their last 4 matches, but their squad at the moment really is looking quite thin with all the injuries they've got. As well as that, they picked up 2 red cards in their last game against Swansea City, so they'll be missing Brown and McNair for this one. A boost they could have coming into it is Britson has been back in training, and so could be back in the starting lineup for this one. Obviously, has been a little bit hit or miss this season, but is the sort of player for Borough who they do need to step up and could make the difference for them this season. Going up against the Stoke side, unbeaten in their last 2. Their last game against Reading, though, not the best performance. That game finished without a shot on target. I can't see too many goals being scored in this one. I think I'm just edging towards Borough with their home record. I'm going to go 1-0. FIFA's going to go 1-0 Stoke. I don't see a lot being in that one. As a league kick-off on Saturday, we got Cardiff going up against North End. North End had a really good record against Cardiff last time they were in the Championship. We did do the double over them, but Cardiff at the moment, very strong home record, and under Neil Harris so far, on the majority, they have been very good. They've only lost 1 of their last 6 matches. Preston, of course, back in 3rd position now. We do still have a few injuries to our squad. Ben Davis may be returning this weekend. Daniel Johnson, I don't think, will be fit for it. Donald Fisher as well picked up his 10th yellow card of the season last week. He's only played 15 matches and he's already picked up 10 yellow cards. Absolutely baffling stat. But going up against the Cardiff side, who probably had one of the most bonkers matches in their last outing, a 3-3 draw against Leeds United. They weren't great for the first half, but they turned it around late on and really put on the skill. Lee Tomlin, the player who really has been standing out for Cardiff lately, and with Preston's away record, we've not really been able to showcase what we're capable of on the road so far this season. We've only got 2 wins, and it really has been our home form which has been propping us up the league. So going away to Cardiff with how good they have been at home, I'm not all too confident. I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. FIFA's going to go 1-0 Cardiff. I don't think there'll be all too much in it. Cardiff may edge it, but I'll say 1-1. And then we got Fulham going up against Leeds United, a massive game at the top of the Championship. Now, Leeds do have quite a tricky run-in from now over the Christmas period, and this really is the start of it. Their last game against Cardiff, I don't think that anyone saw that coming. They were cruising at 3-0 up, and then somehow managed to throw it away and ended up being 3-3. Going away to Fulham. Fulham, it has to be noted, aren't on the great run of form at the moment. They have lost their last 3 matches in the Championship, and their record so far against other top 6 sides hasn't been brilliant. The way that Fulham like to play so far this season has been very possession heavy, but when teams like to press them, like we know Leeds will do this weekend, the cracks have started to appear in that system, and you'd think that Leeds would be able to get quite a bit of joy out of them. However, this is the Championship and things do not work this way. It's all about momentum, and despite Fulham losing 3 games in a row, they're still sat in the top 6. You know, Preston, my team, lost 4 games in a row, and we're now back up to 3rd. It just goes to show that there really is no gap in the Championship in terms of points at all at the moment. If you put together a couple of wins, you can really propel yourself up the league. But with Fulham and the people they have going forward, I think that they might be able to pull off an upset in this one. Leeds are on a fantastic run with the unbeaten run. They're 10 points clear of 2nd, but they're not going to win every game from now until the end of the season, are they? And if they are going to lose one, then away at Craven Cottage with the people that Fulham have going forward, this might be it. I'm going to go for an upset. I'm going to go 2-1 Fulham for that one. FIFA's going to go 1-0 Leeds. It'll be interesting to see how Leeds react from their last outing. And then we see Huddersfield going up against Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest, another side who will be interested to see how they react from last week's absolute horror show against Sheffield Wednesday. I don't think that many people saw that one coming. Defensively, they fell apart, but going forward lately as well, people just haven't quite been firing on all cylinders, obviously. João Carvalho has not really been, he's been sort of in and out of the squad, playing on the wing at times, not really in his natural position. Joe Lolly going back to Huddersfield, another player who hasn't really been hitting the same heights lately, so it'll be interesting to see how Forest approach this one. Huddersfield lately, only 1 win in their last 5 matches, but they have picked up quite a few draws in the meantime. Nottingham Forest without a win now in their last 4 matches. They have slipped out of the top 6, but are only 1 point behind Fulham in 6th, and that just goes to show you, how close the top 6 really is at this point in time. And Forest, away from home, I would say that they've been playing a little bit better than they have been doing at home lately. Goals haven't been as much of an issue, but I don't think it's going to be a complete turn of fortunes for Nottingham Forest. I think they'll approach this game against Huddersfield cautiously. Obviously, Huddersfield do have players going forward who can hurt you, Colin Grant being the prime example of that. But for this one, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. FIFA's going to agree with me for that one. I don't think there'll be much in it. Then we see Hull going up against Birmingham. Only 2 points separates these two in the table at the moment, both sat in mid-table. Hull picks up a last-ditch point in the game they had against Charlton last time out, and Birmingham, I did actually think, got a little bit unlucky in the game they had against West Brom. They lost it 3-2, but Charlie Austin coming off the bench was the real difference in that game, and given the whole 90 minutes, I thought that Birmingham probably did deserve a point from that game. They put in some decent performances. Djukovic got back in the goals as well, and they certainly offered a lot more going forward. Hull lately at home, though, decent record for them. They've won 3 of their last 4 matches at the K-Count. They're a little bit of a momentum side, Birmingham. They'll go on a bit of a winning streak, they'll draw a few matches, and then they'll lose a few. They have lost their last 2, so they'll be looking to change that around in this one. And with the way that Hull are playing at the moment, though, and the way that Birmingham can be a little bit suspect defensively at times, I think I'm just edging towards Hull for this one. I'm going to say 2-1. FIFA's going to go 1-0 Birmingham. I could see that one going either way. There's not been much in it between those two this season. Then next up, we've got Luton going up against Swansea. Now, I think it just goes to show how baffling the Championship is this season, that Swansea have only won 1 of their last 7 matches, and yet are only 1 point outside the top 6. So Swansea, though, they did pick up their form last time, beating Middlesbrough by 3-1, AU being the star man for that one, and they had a lot more potency about them going forward. They'll be looking to carry that out for the rest of the season. Now, and going up against a Luton side who defensively have looked pretty shaky so far, it's a good chance for Swansea now to maybe build back a bit of momentum over this Christmas period. Luton in their last game against Preston, in some aspects, did get a little bit unlucky for that one. Harry Cornick had a brilliant chance going through on goal where he could have won it for Luton, but Rudd made a good save, and obviously they went on to lose that game late on. Being back at home, these are the sort of games which are going to be pivotal to Luton, who are just sat outside of the bottom 3 at this point in time. When I was watching Luton at Deepdale, a couple of the players that stood out to me were Luar and McManaman. I think that 2 players who are capable of playing on the counter-attack, and if you do play to their strengths, you're not just hoofing the ball up to them, they can cause teams problems if you do get the ball down on the floor, and someone like Izzy Brown added into that as well. Luton have a decent triangle of players going forward there, but with Swansea maybe getting back to form, I'm just edging towards the away side for this one, I think. I'm going to go 2-1 Swansea for this game, with FIFA saying it'll be 1-0 Luton. Next up, we then see Millwall going up against Barnsley. Millwall are on absolute fire at the moment, only 2 points away from the top 6 with this current unbeaten run they're on. Barnsley, of course, getting back to winning ways last time, though, with an emphatic 5-3 home victory over QPR. Connor Chaplin scoring a hat-trick in that game, and they do bring in the attacking threat into most games they play. Their away form so far this season, though, hasn't been the best. Obviously, yet to win a match away from Oakwell so far this season, and going to the Den, where Millwall have only lost 1 so far this season, it's going to be a tricky time for them. Millwall lately have been playing that 3 at the back system, and they've been playing it really effectively, I must say. Some of the standout performers for Millwall lately, Jed Wallace, of course, been picking up a lot of the headlines. Hutchinson and Cooper at the back have both been fantastic, but Tom Bradshaw against this former side in this one, I think he's pretty much nailed on to score, isn't he? He scored a fantastic goal last time against Derby as they beat them away, but with Millwall being back in the Den for this one and Barnsley being inconsistent to say the least away from home, I am edging towards Millwall. I think I'll go 2-1 to Millwall in this one. I do see Barnsley scoring, but with the role they're on at the moment, I think I can't look past the home side. FIFA saying 2-0 Barnsley. Then we got QPR going up against Charlton. QPR, I mean, they were on a good run. They picked up back-to-back wins, and they had an absolute horror show away at Barnsley where they conceded 5 goals after picking up consecutive clean sheets in the Championship. So God knows what they're going to do in this one, but being back at Loftus Road, I think you probably have to fancy them as the favourites for this one, considering Charlton and their current squad size and the fact that they are without a win in the Championship in their last 10 matches. Now, another interesting thing I saw about Charlton the other day, Lyle Taylor turning down a contract extension. Interested to get some views of the Charlton fans on that one. But for this game, I think there's got to be goal scorers in it. I think that Charlton, despite the current run they have got fairly unlucky with their last couple of results, I must say, conceding late goals in both of them. QPR, though, they do have that goal scoring touch, and with Charlton being a little bit lacklustre at the back lately, I'm going to go 3-2 QPR. I see a lot of goals being scored in this one. I think it's going to be quite an open stretch game. That's how a lot of QPR games have been so far this season, but I'll say 3-2. FIFA's going to say 2-0 Charlton. And then we got Reading going up against Derby. Neither side in a great run of form at the moment, so possibly this is the chance for one of them to turn that around. There's not much that separates these two in the table either, just 3 points. If Reading do win this game, they will go level on points with Derby. Both sides have only won 1 of their last 6 matches now, and Reading, I think a lot of that can be coincided with the injuries that they picked up. know, they've had quite a few to that squad lately, and in a lot of their recent performances, it's not just been the quality on the ball, but it's been the press off the ball that's been missing. You know, their last game, a 0-0 draw against Stoke City, where there wasn't a shot on target from either side in the entire game. Just a real lack of cutting edge or willingness to get the ball back and win second balls. That could be seen from their game against Barnsley as well. So being back at home for this one, I just want to see a bit more quality from Reading, really, because we do know they have it in their squad. We saw that earlier on in the season. Going up against Derby, though, who have been less than impressive on the road so far this season, still not won an away match since the opening day of the season, and with the way they're going at the moment, their last game was a really shoddy one against Millwall, where they really struggled for creativity going forward. They need Rooney in that squad sooner rather than later. You know what, I think I'm actually I'm edging towards Reading for this one, you know. I'm going to say 2-1 Reading, whereas FIFA's saying it'll be 2-0 Derby. And then we've got West Brom going up against Brentford, another cracking game at the top of the Championship, obviously with Fulham going on against Leeds this weekend, and with West Brom going on against Brentford. If Brentford and Fulham both win this weekend, we could see the gap on the top two narrow down a little bit more, but West Brom at home, you can't take anything away from them. They've been scoring an absolute bucket full of goals lately, obviously. Their last game against Birmingham, Charlie Austin coming off the bench and being the real difference in that game with two quality finishes to go ahead and secure all 3 points. But they're going up against the Brentford side, who they themselves have been scoring a lot of goals lately, and Bimo scored in his last 4 matches. But defensively as well, that's been a real strong point of Brentford so far this season. They've got the second best defensive record in the league, the one of 2 clubs as Leeds United are to concede under 20 goals so far this season. So it's going to be a really interesting battle. Last time we saw Pontus Jansson pocketing Mitrovic at Fulham as they kept a clean sheet and beat them 1-0. Is he going to be able to do the same against this amazing attacking trio that West Brom have got going at the moment? I'm not so sure. I do think there will be goals scored, and you know what, I think both of the top 2 might drop points this weekend. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw in that one. FIFA's going to say 1-0 Brentford. This could be a really interesting game week for the top 2. And then we've got Sheffield Wednesday going up against Bristol City, 2 sides going for the top 6 this season, and another really interesting battle. Bristol City obviously have lost their last 2 matches, but it's worth remembering that their away record has been very impressive so far this season. They've only lost twice on the road this far into the season. Going up against Sheffield Wednesday, though, who picked up what a result it was last time, beating Nottingham Forest by 4-0 away from home. Jordan Rhodes grabbing all the headlines with a hat-trick in that game, and the system really seemed to suit him with that 4-4-2 up front with Stephen Fletcher, another striker who's in fantastic form for Sheffield Wednesday at the moment. He's scored in 5 of his last 6 matches now for Wednesday, and it really seemed to work out well. They were swift in transitions, moving the ball forward with Harris on the left, Adam Reach out on the right, and it really seemed to be a team with really good balance. It'll be a really good battle going into this one, because given the whole season so far, I don't think there's been all too much in it between these 2 sides. I think that come the end of the season, that will also be the case. I don't think there'll be all too much in it. But with Sheffield Wednesday scoring the amount of goals that they are at the moment, Bristol City sometimes being a little bit open at the back, although they do have the quality going forward to hurt Wednesday, I'm just edging towards the home side. I'm going to go 2-1. FIFA's going to say 2-0. I see that being a really good game on Sunday. Then as the last game going on Monday, we've got a local encounter going on between Blackburn Rovers and Wigan Athletic. Now, Blackburn on a fantastic run at the moment, unbeaten in their last 6 matches, and they've won 5 of them. Their last game without Bradley Dack, a 2-0 away victory over Bristol City, where they put in a really good performance on the break. They were fantastic. Adam Armstrong, someone who's always capable of causing the opposition problems. And going up against a side like Wigan, who have been struggling lately, things just haven't been clicking for them. And they have put in a few decent performances lately, I think it has to be said, but results haven't been following that, and they do find themselves comfortably sat in the bottom 3 at the moment. A game like this could be the spot to turn their season around if they do manage to pick up all 3 points, but away at Blackburn, with the way they're playing at the moment, it's also worth noting that defensively, I also would say that Blackburn have been excellent lately. Wigan have caused more problems since Josh Windass has been back in the side, I think, but I'm just not sure if I can see an upset to the form book in this one. With Dak being back and with how well Blackburn are playing, I'm going to back the home side for a 2-1 home victory, with Eve saying it'll be a 1-1 draw. But guys, there you have it. There are all the games which are going on this weekend in the Championship. So as always, get your score predictions in the comments down below. Interested to see which way you guys are going for these ones. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching. If you did go in to enjoy, make sure you leave a like. It is always massively appreciated. As well as that, make sure you subscribe for some regular Championship content. But apart from that, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one.